Oh, greetings. By any chance, would you be interested in a Rogue Galaxy stream tomorrow? Excellent. I need a massive fishing break. And I am ready to get back to Rogue Galaxy. I have no idea how long Gale is going to take us, but we should have nothing to do but learn his attack pattern. Oh, that's absolutely fine. Just so long as it's within a realistic time. I would just hate to record it and then you find out 2 weeks later that, like, I've moved on and, like, I already beat Gale and we leveled up a bunch of people and now I'm grinding the Insectatron. Because now that people, like, it's kind of weird because it's no longer just me sitting here playing by myself. So, like, it's not that I feel an obligation, but, like, I do feel bad if I do a bunch of crazy cool stuff that I would have liked to see somebody do, but, like, I'm doing it by myself at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I will make tomorrow an all-day thing of it, so you can relax and just know that it's going on. You don't have to worry about missing it. You can just catch it at any point. And if you feel like you can't catch it, you can just wait till the end of the day and start it from the beginning. Depressingly, it could just turn out to be 12 hours of me getting my ass whipped by Gale. Well done. Wait. Salty, are you still in, Rosa? Are you still in the starting town? What kind of playthrough are you doing? What are you looking to do? What are you trying to do? You want any secrets? $100. 100 what? What are you trying to do? All the secrets. Let me get my piece of paper. So if you want to make an Absolution Halo Plus, which is a level 48 sword, while you're still in Chapter 4, you're going to want to buy 58 plain edges while you're still in Rosa, and 60 rock crushers when you're in Jiraika. Then you should be good. Don't forget to buy the grand edges and the wild edges in Rosa as well, because you use those to make star edges, and you use those to make ridge crushers. And eventually you combine all of those to make a new set of Volcano Crushers, Gaia Crushers, and Gaia Crusher Pluses, which combine with Shining Horns and Shining Blazons, which you get from the Star Edges and Wild Edges, which you combine with, now I have this written down, 18 Crimson Fevers, which I'm not sure which you combine to get to that. There's a list somewhere. Once you combine all your Rising Suns and Crimson Fevers, you get Murakumo type X's and O's. You combine those to get Blizzard Edges. And then I think you have to do a bunch of other shit that I don't have written down right now. because I went through like a fucking madhouse to figure this all out to begin with. You combine probably what's left to make Sabalungas, which combine to make Gustbringers with something else I can't remember. And that should take you to 4 Blizzard Edges. And I think you combine those. I can't even remember. It is a cool sword. But like as soon as you get to that, you're like so close. I can't remember exactly the order, and I have to find it. Oh wait, I think I actually just found it. Wait, let's see if we can find it. No. Oh, the Blizzard Edges combine with Gustbringer to make Judgment Halo. So wait, who gets the Sabalunga? Oh! My scribblings. The Spirit Oh, so Sabalungas combine with Murakumo type Zeros to make Spirit Caliber. Oh God, I forgot the fucking whole list. Don't listen to me. I'd have to reread this whole thing. Oh God. Gustbringer is a Spirit Caliber and a Shining Blazon. Okay, okay. Murakumo type 0 is a Crimson Fever and a Crimson Fever. Murakumo type X is a Crimson Fever and a Gaia Crusher plus. Okay. I'd have to reread all of this. I don't think you actually care. No, like... I think it was like a day or two after I like actually was like, okay, I'm gonna play Rogue Galaxy. I'm gonna play Rogue Galaxy. I'm gonna play Rogue Galaxy. I like logged onto the subreddit to see if like, you know, I wonder if there's any posts that are like, this is the definitive post of like what to do when you start Rogue Galaxy. And like the newest post there was somebody asking how to get the best weapons as early as possible. And I was like, oh, no way. This is my kind of post. And nobody had responded to the guy. And I was just like, wow, that's weird. Like, what are the odds, like, the #1 post that I would be interested in is being asked a couple days before I get here, and nobody answers it? Oh, so... I can't actually... Platinum would probably be a better person to ask for this, but I cannot tell you how many missables are probably in that game. It's ridiculous. Try not to worry about it. You do not want to know how much you have to grind to be able to afford all of the missables. It's insane. Buy, like, the weapons you're most interested in. So... you might want to just... The best way... I think it's like episode 1 or 2. You might just want to check out my YouTube if you're gonna grind that much and like see how many swords I buy when I leave Rosa and copy that, because if you're gonna grind that much, you might as well like see how I get Earthshaker by chapter 5, because like it's... You might want to just check out some of my episodes. I can try to find like which episodes it is. But, like, the amount of missables and the amount of money you need is ridiculous. I don't even know if they're important. I genuinely don't even know if they're important. But there are so many missables in each store for some fucking reason. They might not even do anything outside of just be like, hey, in case you missed them last chapter, we gave you some bonus. But, like, I mean, the store resets, so, like, you don't get more of them. If you didn't buy them, you miss them. So, like, again, they're missable, but, like, I don't know if you need to buy them. But, Yeah, you need to basically like save up 20 or 30,000 in each area after chapter 2 or after chapter 1. As soon as you start chapter 2, you got to save up like 30 or 40,000. Oh, what the fuck? This fish wasn't that good, was it? I wouldn't have paused if it was that good. Oh, also, if you want to min-max, it's alright. It's not a bad fish, actually. Oh, wait. As soon as you hit 300 kills of an enemy, they'll stop giving you, like, pretty much any experience. They'll just give you 1 experience at that point. So if you want to get to the maximum level as soon as possible, you technically have to beat 300 of each enemy. It's not necessary, but just so you're aware. If you're like fighting monsters and all of a sudden they stop giving you experience completely, you've defeated too many of them, pretty much. It's not your fault. Oh, also, yeah, if you do the most damage of anybody in the fight, like you personally, you get bonus experience. I think it's quite a bit. I think it's up to 50%. But I'm also really bad at math. Oh, very nice. Very nice. 10%? I don't know about that. It says it in the tutorial, really? Okay, well, I'm dumb as shit. 10%? I swear to God, some of the fights, it was like way more than that. Oh, I wonder if it's 10% of like each enemy, and like the enemies it took 10% from like made it like seem more. Because like certain enemies are worth more experience than others. Yeah, but like if I beat like 5 petite dogs for plus 10%, the jump would seem like 10% kind of. But like if I beat those volcano enemies in chapter 6 that are worth like hundreds of experience, the jump would seem like massive, I guess. I'm just really bad at math, is what I'm trying to explain. Bigger number makes me think more. You know that stupid meme of the little girl looking at all the flasks as they change the amounts of water and she still picks the wrong flask even though it's like very clear they're all the same? I'm the stupid little girl. What do you think of Hoenn? Good, Hoenn's brilliant. Is it perfect? No. But it's great. Ugh. The entire, like, broken down cruise ship, phenomenal. The music, that was actually, believe it or not, the surfing was not something I ever complained about as a kid, and was like so bizarre to hear, like, was actually like a joke among the community, like, oh, too much water. And it's like, that's such a funny fucking review because like that literally never crossed my mind. I think the only time I cared about the water. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Wonderful swoop in, as always. Knowledgeable. They're colorful, and I'm not sure what they mean, but they're fun to maximize. Of course there's water, it's an island. I think a lot, and this happened to me because I was a young kid. And I think some people don't want to admit that they have the brains of a young kid. Still. But, like, when you get... What is it? When is it? Is it right after the 6th gym? Yeah. I think it's right after the 6th gym, and you've talked to Steven, and you've done the Lily Cove stuff, and you've beaten Team Aqua or Magma. I think it's right after you confront them in the submarine, and it kicks you out, and all of a sudden you're just in the open world. Like, you're either dealing with the heavy sun or the rain, and all of a sudden you're just in the open world of water. And I think so many people get lost trying to find Setopolis because you have to, again, find the dive point from where you are surfing. And then you have to circle around and find the entrance. But, like, I think so many people were probably just like, well, you know what? I'll just surf around and, you know, find where I know and we'll figure it out. But, like, nothing on the mainland will actually tell you what to do, I think. You literally have to dive and find Setopolis to continue the story. But, like, I remember being a little kid and being like, I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do. Where's the dive point? But I think that's literally what it is. Oh, nice. I was about to try. Weapon sets have a base power and an elemental power. The base power can never be changed, but elemental power can be increased and will start leveling up after you hit max. When a weapon is mastered, then you have increased its elemental power as far as it can go. So I have a little bit of a question, and you don't have to answer this. I can Google it at some point. But, like, is it better to combine 2 high-level weapons and try to, like, just be the level that they'll be when they combine, or take one weapon and combine a bunch of low-level ones onto it? So what happens when you max everything? That's it? Yeah, because that's... When you max it, you can combine them. It's like getting a weapon to +5 in Dark Cloud or Dark Cloud 2, I think. And then maximum is all of the stats are increased. So when you combine it with another weapon, I think it automatically increases the next, like, combination weapon stats. I think that's how that works. But you only have to get it to max to combine it. It's like they took out the leveling system of getting things to, like, +1, +2, +3, +4, +5 of the Dark Cloud series. It's like they kind of streamlined it, but kind of didn't. It's like they tried to streamline it, but essentially made an entirely different system. Gen 3 is one of the best gens, but honestly, what blows my mind, and I never thought of this as a kid, it was the first Dexit. It is missing so many Pokemon. There are so many Pokemon missing from Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Like, it's actually insane when you think about it. I never thought about it, but without Fire Red and Leaf Green, so many Pokemon are missing. Even with those games. Not, like, tons at that point, but, like, come on. Like, how did we not know the first Dexit? I was there. By the time Dexit was actually a thing, I was not even playing Pokemon. But again, I played Ruby and Sapphire when they came out. And I played Fire Red, Leaf Green. Alright, so this pains me to say, but in the next 4 hours, we are looking for 2 150 Kaji. If we catch 2 150 Kaji, I feel pretty confident that resetting your game is the way to go. I think those people just can't have fun anymore. I think there's some people who are like me and play games to the point where they're just burnt out and they can't enjoy the game itself anymore because they've burnt themselves out. However, I think unlike me, they can't put the game down and then let other people enjoy it because they can't enjoy it anymore. But like, that's just a childish thing. But people are like that. That's how people are. People are childish. But I think that's what it is. I think people just play the same game to the point where they burn out on it. And then they look at everybody else having fun. And they're just like, you shouldn't be having fun. No. I'm the biggest fan. And I don't have fun anymore. You shouldn't have fun anymore. Ugh. I'm dying over here. I've also just encountered so many people who just like get upset again when you don't play the game the same way as them. So many people get upset if you just don't play the game the same way as them. And it's weird. So fucking weird. It's genuinely my biggest pet peeve in the gaming community. Yeah, no, that was really shitty. Because, like, on Reddit, if you even, like, mentioned, like, yeah, I don't even really care about Dexit, people just downvoted you. They were like, I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, all I said was my favorite Pokemon made it. And, like, yeah, you just get trashed for it. It was either hate it or, like, have a really good argument for why you think they're gonna add the Pokemon later for free. But I mean, pretty much every game is subjective, but, like, I mean, yeah, Pokemon especially, like, it genuinely just matters when you were born. Literally, that's it. Like, the younger you are when you're introduced to the Pokemon franchise, the more likely that's gonna be your favorite. It's just how it is. Unless you've got one of those parents that's, like, super into Pokemon, and you're one of those kids that's like, I want to be like Dad. That's his favorite generation. And there's nothing wrong with that, but, like, it's pretty... I mean, like, Pokemon's been around for so long that it's just... just how it is. Like, what gen were you born with? Ruby, Sapphire? Like, it's pretty much how it is. But, like, I think there's definitely an answer for, like, which one's the best made. Like, I think you could actually make a list. That's funny. My brother got back into the series with Sword and Shield. A lot of people got back in with Arceus, which is funny because, like, Arceus didn't actually look fun to me. But again, I haven't played since Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Interestingly, I couldn't even make it past the tutorial. There was so much talking, I just couldn't do it. I distinctly remember just pressing A, and, like, at one point it was like, oh god. Ah! It was like, this is gonna be one of those openings where I have to hold B and press A. I gotta speed this shit up. And then at a certain point, I remember I just zoned out and was just watching whatever I was watching, and I wasn't even pressing A anymore on the 3DS, and it was just like, I think I'm good on this. But I would have actually loved, and I don't know if it was Sword and Shield, if it was Sun and Moon or if it was Sun and Moon 2. But one of the games had the SOS feature or whatever it was, where the Pokemon would call for help. And I guess in one of the games, fucking, you could find Bagon that would call for help for, like, a level 5 Salamence. And, like, that's honestly one of the greatest things I've ever heard of in Pokemon. And, like, I'm so sad I've never actually played that one. If Pokemon games weren't super expensive, I would probably, like, actually go out and get that game. But, like, no fucking way. There's no way I'm spending, like, $100. Because, I mean, like, I'm tired of buying, like, Pokemon games without the case. But at the same time, like, fucking the case is, like, $60. I don't know if I had a problem, anything in particular with Sword and Shield outside of, I didn't like what's his name and his brother. What is his name? The fucking Leon's the champion. And not that Leon I thought was bad. Hop, yeah. I just didn't like Leon's design. I thought his design was kind of weird. He looked like a baseball player with a fucking, like, splash of lands. It was kind of, it made me uncomfortable. And I think that's what he was supposed to be. It happens like that sometimes. When Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, something about Leon just was so lackluster to me. I just didn't like him. Not that I, like, hated him or anything. I didn't even play the game. It's just, I didn't feel anything for him. When Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, I was like, this is it. I'm so excited. Like, this is going to be it. And I caught my Blaziken, or I didn't catch my Blaziken. I got my Blaziken, and I caught my Shroomish, and I was like, oh, this is so much fun. Like, this game is so good. And I got all the way to Tate and Liza, and they annihilated me. And I was just like, oh my god. Like, did I just sweep through the game with 2 fighting types? Like, I did. I was like, this game is just ruined by these 2 Pokemon. I didn't even realize that I didn't have a flying type or anything. I was just enjoying myself with a Breloom and a Blaziken, just annihilating the game. I don't even think Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are, like, that great of games, but, like, I think at least when I played them, they felt complete. Like, it was a game that at least could be released to the public. Sword and Shield were too, but I didn't play them. Or, not Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon. Again, I wish I had played Sun and Moon. And if I could find them for decent prices, I might get them. Just because I want to catch one of those SOS Salamances. Maybe even Shiny. Maybe even Shiny. No, actually, I don't even like Shiny Salamence, to be honest. It's alright. The Link skill. So I don't even know what that is. Is that like the Z-move thing? Is that what... Isn't that the... What you want, baby? 1 second. My cat can't get in the fort. Oh, hello. Hello. What do we got? Is this a... 1 second, Jiraiya. This should be a 130, 140. Jiraiya, I'll let you in the fort in a minute. I can't fuck up this fish. I loved X and Y. My only problems with X and Y was that, like, it's just that, like, we know there wasn't the entire story. There was more. There was unreleased content. Like, well, I guess we don't know it. But, like, that was, like, one of the first games where it actually felt like, like, is this complete? Like, are we getting the whole story here? Okay, that's weird. That's a weird fish. Alright, oh shit, let me go let him in. Or did he figure it out? Why? Why is my fucking life like this? I get up, I see him sitting in the fucking, like, shelf, like, because he can't figure out how to get under the blanket, and it's just like, you know what, I'm gonna lift up the blanket because he's too stupid to get under there. I lift up the blanket to where he wants to get to, and there's a chewed up plastic bag, and he's just staring at me like, oh, fuck, I forgot I chewed that up in there. Like, you know what, I don't need to go in there. And, like, I try to fucking grab him again, and he's just, like, clawing to get away because he knows he's in trouble. And it's just like, why, you little fucker? Like, when did you eat this fucking bag? Why did you eat it? It's like, this is a snack bag. I know there's 100 snack bags in the drawer, but, like, when? When was the last time I had a snack bag out? Like, it's a clean bag. There was nothing in it. He just fucking chewed through the middle of it. Oh, he's still staring at me. He knows he's in trouble, but I can't. I don't fucking give a shit. I can't at this point. So, that fish was interesting. It was good. That was a good fish. 127 is very low for a 450-ish fish. Not good. However, it could still mean we're on a hot streak like we were earlier, and the 150 is going to show up. It could. It might. I don't know. But I remember when X and Y, back to X and Y, I remember when X and Y came out, everybody was so stoked. Like, when do you think AZ's Floette's gonna come out? When do you think we're gonna get the unique rune of whatever it is, or I can't remember what its special attack is, but like that special Floette that was like red and black and purple, and everybody was like, oh, it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out. And then there was like the secret message from Professor Sycamore you could find under the bench, and it was just like, oh, when do you think we're gonna get something with that? And then there's Zygarde and all this other stuff, and it's just like, I don't think we're gonna get anything. And then yeah, it kind of turned out that it was gonna be Sun and Moon stuff. Yeah, but they were good games, and I think it has some of the best breeding in Pokemon. Like the Destiny Knot, Everstone updates, phenomenal. Luminois City for hatching your eggs, it has to be one of the best. Name a better anywhere. Name anywhere better than Luminois City for hatching your eggs. It's insane. It's too good. Too good. It is literally just a perfect circle. And there's Talonflame. Oh my god. A flying flame body Pokemon. Like, it is the game for breeding Pokemon. It was so good. So good. Only beat by Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire for having like the distortions. Talonflame was such a fucking... Talonflame's one of the greatest, like, early game flying Pokemon. I think Talonflame and Staraptor are probably, like, the two best. Talonflame just beats it because it has fucking Gale Wings or whatever. One of the most busted abilities at the time. Like, yeah, let's just give flying moves priority. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, what? What? Holy shit! That's another one! So, apparently that fish basically confirms that 750 is max FP. I don't understand it exactly, but... Bam! So, okay, so is Corviknight a 3-stage evolution? I don't know Corviknight well enough. I know Corviknight is like a good Pokemon. Okay. So yeah, I did know Corviknight was good. I didn't know Corviknight was a 3-stager. Poor Pidgeotto and Pidgeot, they're just like there. Swellow's actually not bad. Swellow's actually really good. Well, Swellow's a 2-stage. There's no 3-stage in Hoenn, is there? It's Swellow. There's Swellow and Wingull, right? Yeah, it's Swellow and Wingull, right? Yeah. Am I missing somebody? Holy shit. Swellow, Wingull, Swablu. Are there any more 2-stage evolutions that they added for flying type? That's weird that they have 3, but they did skip the early flying 3-stage. That's interesting. Right? Am I just not thinking? Is there something missing that I'm... Oh, I was thinking in... Oh, yeah, Watch Roll. That's one of the new ones, isn't it? I was thinking in Gen 3. Because there's no 3-stage flying type in Gen 3, is there? But there's a bunch of 2 stages. Yeah, because Winona would definitely use it if there was a 3-stage, but Winona doesn't have any 3-stage flying Pokemon. That's really weird, isn't it? In Gen 3, there's no generic 3-stage flying Pokemon. I guess the only reason there's one in Gen 2 is because Pidgey returns, but... I guess it kind of makes sense, because yeah, Gen 4 is when they kind of did it again with Pidove. And then Gen 4 has Staraptor. Gen 5 has Pidove. Yes, Gen 6 has Talonflame and whatever the fuck it's called. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm remembering now. Ooh, Reckless Staraptor, so good. Double Edge Brave Bird, Quick Attack, good shit. Good shit. Adamant Nature. So much damage. So much damage. Could do a Jolly Nature too. It's not the worst, but Quick Attack, squeeze it. Squeeze for damage. Well, excellent. Best case scenario tomorrow, we take on Gale, and it's an absolute joke. I doubt it. I don't even want to Google it because I don't want to spoil it for myself. I doubt it's going to work, but like something in my bones tells me that I'm about to like rediscover a whole new love for Level 5 Studios tomorrow. Because like, I don't know. Again, it's not that they're necessarily missable items, but like, every time you get to a new area, there's weapons for sale, and you can buy those weapons, and then like, as you get further in the level, more weapons will become available. But like, if you didn't buy the old weapons, like, you miss out on them possibly restocking, or getting different weapons, and you could have had the other weapons. So, like, again, they're not necessarily missables, but, like, you can get more weapons to get further ahead if you grind. So, like, what's interesting to me is that I saved up enough money to buy Deego's axes before Deego was on my team. And then I saved up enough money to buy all the axes available once Deego was on my team. And then I combined all of those axes to get Deego a level 40 axe that has the unconscious perk. And, like, I will fucking laugh my ass off if it turns out Gale isn't immune to the unconscious perk, and he'll just fall asleep and I can beat the shit out of him. Like, I'm gonna be kind of sad if it doesn't work because, like, why? Like, what are the odds that the strongest weapon you can make for Deego has unconscious on it? Like, that's either just some crazy coincidence, or they were actually like, yep, let's reward the player for building up the strongest possible weapon. Because, like, it's a notorious boss fight, and the weapon you can build up to the highest point, I think, maybe I'm wrong, has unconscious on it. Making the boss fight technically as easy as it gets. So, I don't know. It could still be an impossibly difficult boss fight that I have to learn the mechanics of, or else I die repeatedly. Or I hit him a few times and he falls asleep, and then I just I keep resetting up Bone Shield and, oh, what's the other ability? Top Dog, I think. But, like, how many people have probably actually grinded up? I can't even remember what weapon it is. Let me look it up real quick. I have the picture, I think. Like, I'm 99% sure I have the picture saved. Rogue Galaxy thumbnails. Oh. Oh my. Oh, there it is. Olympian Treasure. Deego, level 40. Daytron's top-of-the-line product. Its flashy trim is garnish, but its power is overwhelming. Voila! It's been fused. Oh, Toady. Oh, Toady. I love Toady. I genuinely love Toady. That's a great addition. Makes me sad Max and Monica don't have, like, a little companion. Not every game needs a companion, but it's a good one. Toady's a great one. And it's so, like, oh, I wasn't expecting the part where Toady was like, oh, yeah, you just murdered my brother. And it was like, oh, Jesus. Spoilers, by the way, to anybody out there. Sorry, but you've had time. We both had time to play the game, but you know I can't hold my tongue. I'll apologize after I've said the spoiler, but I apologize. I could have said something else. Could have said, like, the reveal, but I revealed it. I don't feel that bad, but I do feel bad. I apologize, but if we'd have actually liked the game when it came out, maybe we'd have gotten a sequel. Ugh, I don't know if I'd have wanted a sequel to Rogue Galaxy. I genuinely think, what's our best bet? What would actually be our best bet for Dark Cloud 3? The original writer to pretty much leave Sony and decide he has enough money to make Dark Cloud 3 on his own? Is that, like, our best? I don't even think that's our best bet. Because, like, I mean, he made Rogue Galaxy. And, like, Rogue Galaxy's a great game. Like, I love it now. I do. I'm excited for my second playthrough once I have every outfit. But, like, it came out 2 years after Kingdom Hearts. It should have better combat. That's literally it's my biggest complaint about that game. Is that, like, the combat sucks. Like, it could be so much better for when it came out. Like, it came out a while ago, yes. But, like... I mean, it has no reason to be worse. See, okay, another good fish. Another good fish. So we're looking for another... This, I guess, is another 120. Okay, this is interesting. We'll see what this is. So I can definitely scroll, but not very far. So it's like a 120, 440 or something. This is weird. Interesting. Oh god, what would Rogue Galaxy 2 even be? I haven't even beaten it. Would it just be... I don't even want to spoil it too much, but it would probably just be like your generic ass, like... X and Y have a kid and you follow the story of Z. I don't even know, though. I'm not that far in the game yet. Nice! So we're getting good fish. I said in the next 4 hours... we should see 2 150s. We haven't seen any 150s, but I'm still seeing the giant fish from earlier. I'm still seeing the giant fish from earlier today. So it looks like if the seeded theory is true and you believe in it, it looks like you can travel around the map and come back. It might not affect other places. I might have just gotten lucky over at Palm Brinks Lake. Got names mixed up in my head. I am losing it. But it looks like if you're catching good fish in one area, you can leave and come back, and they'll still be the same fish. 93, 270. Yeah, that's... we were catching those earlier. All right. So many 4-hour sessions without seeing big ass fish, and then again, all of a sudden, today, we see one at the very start, and then we see another, and then sadly, I just couldn't keep it together. I should have kept my concentration focused, kept grinding. Maybe that Nonky could have been a Kaji. No, I'm kidding. Even if it was a 130 Nonky. What kind of Kaji would that have been? Like a 140, a 150. Ooh. You know what? I'm going to try to keep it together. I'm going to try to get the 12-hour stream in so that we can catch in just in time. We'll get our 12 hours in, and just before we do the 12 hours, we'll land the 250, 750. It's going to happen. Today's the day. It's gonna be fucking wild. I'm gonna jump out of my chair and, like, break my fucking feet because I slip or something. It's gonna be fucking insane. But we keep seeing... No, we're gonna see... a 200, 700 is what we're going to see. Because we keep seeing, like, around the 100, 330 range. We're gonna see something around that. It's gonna be fucking insane. and I'm gonna scream like a little fucking girl, and then I'm gonna lose my voice, and the last hour of stream is just gonna be quiet because I won't literally have a voice. Because I've screamed like a fucking supersonic girl. Not even a supersonic girl, like a... something more powerful. Interesting question. So look at that. We're catching like somewhat similar fish to earlier today. So like, I think we can just confidently say that if you start catching good fish at the beginning of the day, you can leave and come back and the fish will still be there. I think you don't have to worry about like saving or doing anything. I think if you have good fish at the start of the day, you're gonna have good fish throughout the day. Because it's just either that or it's just a lucky fucking day. Because I have left and come back and I haven't reset my PS2, but we're still catching good fish. No record. We're not catching a record right now, but it's a good one. Who knows? I know, right? But like at this point, I'm convinced of this. I am confident that restarting your game until you catch big fish is the best way to go after the record. And then once you catch like a near record, stick with it for as long as you can. I mean, like, what are the fucking odds? Why do I keep catching big ass fish today? What are the odds? That was a fat one. Not a daily record. But that was a fat one. I want to see if that'd give me another giant. You know, I'm always checking, always looking. Oh, 9/11. Never forget. So, yeah, I feel pretty confident that resetting your game until you see a giant fucking fish of your liking is your best bet. And it's not necessarily going to be the first one. Sometimes it is. I think that's a good fucking day. You should stick with it. But like, shoot for the first 5. And then restart your game. Cranidos is one of those Pokemon that like shows that Game Freak had an idea of what they were doing to keep things balanced. But at the same time, like, now just goes to show that, like, they've actually had no idea what they were doing. And they've simply been getting, like, fucking lucky. Because Cranidos and Rampardos were, like, on paper, busted Pokemon. But when you play with them, you're like, oh, shit, these things suck. And it's like, yeah, because we know balancing. But, like, nowadays, it's just like, what are you people doing? Rampardos is, like, easily one of my favorite Pokemon, but, like, I genuinely, besides, like, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, I could not tell you what games you can actually get that fucking thing in. Like, it's probably one of the rarest Pokemon, isn't it? Like, now that I think about it, like, what games is Rampardos in, besides its debut generation? Like, I know you can probably trade it to a bunch of them, but, like, I have no idea. besides Legends Arceus, like, what games could you technically even catch it in? None. It's a fossil. God, and its shiny is so good. Ugh. Wow, you are selling me on a Lola. I need to figure out which one has Rampardos and the SOS Salamence. I am absolutely gonna have to get that one. I am sold. What is that, Gen 7? I'll have to find out if it's in... Oh, I hope it's in the Necrozma one. Not that I like necessarily like Necrozma, but I always like it when it's in the remake. Honestly, that might be the perfect break for me to take from Crystal and get me back into shiny hunting to do the Celebi hunt. Because I tried to do the Celebi hunt last night, and, well, let's just say I realized why I like doing the touchscreen, but now that I can't do the touchscreen anymore, it kind of sucks. Because, like, the way I'm supposed to reset now sucks. I didn't realize I have a unique type of DS. It's not even a unique type, but it's just the old type of 3DS XL. And the fucking reset method sucks. Ooh, little baby. So I'm gonna have to hop on some Cerebi tonight. I'm gonna have to do a little Pokemon research. That's so fun. I wonder what move Salamence knows at level 5. Probably fucking Dragon Rage. Holy shit. Holy shit, that's not an easy fight to win, I bet. Wow. Oh, that'd be a fun game to Professor Oak challenge. Because you'd still have to get Shelgon. But, like... you could just catch the Salamence, obviously. And that would be so fun to have through your playthrough. But, like, again, you wouldn't actually have to level up the Shelgon through the most painful levels. That's so cool. I love when games have stuff like that. Crystal is single-handedly, like, I think the champion of unevolved, or not unevolved, but lower-leveled Pokemon than they should be. I think that's such a cool feature, because it's not like it breaks the game by any means. It's actually worse. You get a slight power boost, but you get all your moves at a later level. But, like, ever since Pokemon Yellow, and I found out you could catch, I think it's a level 8 Pidgeotto in Viridian Forest, it was just like, oh my god, like, this is so cool. Oh my gosh. This is so cool. I'm like, Faulkner. I love modders, but I think, honestly, there should be, like, a embargo. And maybe there is, and, like, people just get their mods from a different website. But, like, I think Steam should have an embargo on, like, some games so that, like, the actual developers can take time to, like, fix the game and do stuff and, like, make a solid base. Because, like, I hate it when a community bitches because they're like, my mods aren't, like, updating with the current update of the game. And it's like, well, it's because the fucking mod maker made it in, like, the first 2 fucking days. But, like, there's genuinely, like, and maybe it's just because I'm bitter, but, like, I hate fucking hearing people bitch because their mods don't work with, like, the latest patch. And it's just like, what do you want from, like, both parties? Like, genuinely. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, if Reddit would let me block more than 1,000 people, I think my life would just be better. Because I'd never have to hear from these people again. But, like, there's more than 1,000 of them. But, like, Lethal Company. Lethal Company is one of those games that I've recently been, like, I don't play it, but I've been following it. And, like, it's crazy how many people mod the fuck out of that game. and the single dev is like trying to put out updates for it, and it's just like, man, like I feel almost bad. Like I would just fucking give up. It's like the community's Skyrim'd your game. Like just let them have it. You win. Absolutely, but I guess the first thing I get is a bunch of people bitching on local subreddits because it's just like, oh god, shut up. You'd be surprised how many people blame them still. It's either the game creators should like work with the modders, or the modders should work with the game creators, or they should hire. There's always some fucking stupid bullshit. But like, I wish like, again, both parties, like either the modders would like wait, because like I understand like they're probably fucking frothing at the mouth to get like a hold of the game. But at the same time, it's just like, why would you not wait until, like, the game's been updated a few times? Like, I get it, but, like, fuck, man. Like, you know they're gonna change it in 2 days. You know they are. No, yeah, absolutely. It's just, like, there's no middle ground. For some reason, neither party actually wants to, like, converse with each other, because there's, like, some fucking, like, curtain up where they're like, yeah, so long as we leave this curtain up and we don't acknowledge each other, we don't have to fucking get in any legal trouble. And it's like, Jesus Christ, you fucking losers. But like, I don't know. Because again, like, that's just how gaming is now. Like, the games literally get changed the day they're released. Like, day one updates are a thing now. Like, it's just, it's fucking sad, but like, it's how it is. Honestly, when Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out, I might struggle to even stream it live. It's not even a fucking joke. I might download the game and then like check it out offline for the first day. Because if anybody finds like a massive fucking glitch in the first day, I know they're gonna fucking soft or hot patch the game. And if I'm playing offline for fucking 16 hours, I can just use my phone. I will literally download that game and fucking disconnect my computer from the internet. I hate shit like that so much. Like, I understand if there's like a fucking game-breaking glitch that people find all of a sudden where they're like, hey, the fucking bridge connecting these two continents doesn't have collision. And it's like, oh shit, that needs hot patch. But if it's like, okay, the devs didn't realize that when you make gold pickled fowl feet and eat them, you can actually get 400,000 runes at the start of the game, so we actually changed it and lowered it to 200,000, and it's like, eat donkey dicks. Not that Elden Ring did anything like that, but that was just the example that came to my mind. It's just like, I hate when developers do the like, wait, we didn't have the foresight to see this, and that's not how that's not the way we wanted. And it's just like, I fucking hate that. I've literally quit playing games because of it. When they like pull some shit where like they change an entire grinding route that the community has found within the first couple of weeks. Because they're like, that's not what we wanted you to do. Patch. And it's like, motherfuckers, like, we didn't even get to see the extent of the loot table. It's not even that they're more ruthless, it's just there's more of them. When you have that many more hands on the game, you're more likely to just fucking break the game. It's just basic statistics from that like point of view. I mean, like, you can't get 93 million tests without having 93 million goofy ass people test your game. Paying 10 people to test your games is going to get your games tested in 10 very specific ways because it's the same 10 people. But if you get 93 million random ass people to test your game, you're going to find some goofy shit. That's how glitches get found after like 30 years, is because some weirdo like me shows up and it's just like, hey, what if you change the order of your coins in your inventory? And it's like, what? Will you catch bigger fish? It's like, shut the fuck up. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, God, he's catching bigger fish. And it's like, that's not, again, a real example. I'm just making stuff up, but... Oh, look at the fucking Hama-Hamas on that. Let's try it again. Let's roll. Roll Tide. Yeah, like, stuff like that, I don't really necessarily expect a company to be able to, like, find. Or, like, play testers to be able to find. And that was back in the day before fucking play testers, I believe. That was back in the day where you let your kids play test them. But, like, Borderlands 3... I love shitting on this game. I love shitting on this game. Fuck you, Gearbox. Fuck you, Gearbox. What's your name? Randy Pitchfork? Eat a dick. If Randy Pitchfork's the wrong person, I'm sorry. But if it is Randy Pitchfork, eat a dick. Like a fucking, like, a wet, cold dick. But, like, there was so much shit in that game that could have been easily found that just was broken. Just literally not even functioning the way it was written in the game. Like, hey, 1 and 2 were great games. 3 mechanically, like when you're running around shooting stuff, having fun, fucking great time. Great time. When the music kicks in, great time. As soon as the main story, like, starts going, it sucks. It's fucking terrible. But, like, if you've beaten the game and you're just farming weapons and stuff, it's actually really fucking fun. But, like, as soon as you beat the game and you farm enough weapons and you got the ultimate build and you're killing things really fast and you think to yourself, like, okay, let's start over. It sucks. Like, almost immediately. Almost immediately. And that's just my opinion. But... no, if you're just running around doing, like, some side quests and stuff, it's actually a great time. It's not even so much the meme references. It's just genuinely bad writing. Like, in the sense of... like, again, Lilith refers to the player as killer the entire game, but the enemies that you come across will actually recognize which character you're playing as. And it's like, how bad at writing do you have to be to not fucking think that far in? Like, shit. We should program different lines for different characters. But, like, no, Lilith literally just refers to you as killer the whole time because, fuck, that's easier. And it's like, no, like, that's a no-no. Like, are you fucking shitting me? Yeah, like, yeah. And it's like, it's not even, like, not even a newly grad should fucking, that's bad. Like, I think that's just genuinely, we don't give a shit writing. I think the only complaint I actually had through the game where it was just like, okay, like, what the fuck? Was towards the end. There's a moment where I think a lot of fans had the same feeling of how the story was gonna go, and then it didn't go that way. That's fun. Classic. Classic. Praise be. I was talking about this in another stream. The people who pretty much make Pokemon hate it. Like, literally almost all facets. Like, the Pokemon Company, like, openly hates making Pokemon games, and again, lets their B team make all the Pokemon games now, and they let their A team try to make games that beat the Pokemon Company. And then, I can't remember... oh, Ken Sugimori, I think is his name? The guy who, like, originally made the Pokemon art basically came out and was just like, I fucking hate being known as the Pokemon guy. The only reason I kept doing this was because, like, they were friends and they kept reaching out to me because people liked my art. But, like, I wanted to be known as something more serious than Pokemon. And it's like, suck a bag of dicks, you fucking losers. Like, grab on the same dick that the guy's eating on from earlier. But it's not even like, it's just like, fuck off with that shit. Like, very few people in this world, in our universe of the human race, get to actually be that beloved by the entire planet. And then they just fucking, like, go on TV and piss it on. Just, like, piss on all their fans. And it's just like, go fucking be a recluse, you asshole. Like, pump out 150 cartoons every year and fucking be a... Yeah, like... Fucking, as much... I don't play any Valve games, but, like, I respect the fuck... It's Gaben Newell? But, like, he does it right. Like, he's one of those celebrities I know dick all about. But if I saw him in public, I would actually be like... And, like, I know he would, like, take a picture after he saw me do it. And I know nothing about him, but, like, he's, like, one of the few good ones. Who, like, I don't know if he actually gives a shit about the games, but, like... He cares enough that when he releases one, it's going to be good. And it's just like, wow. Like, good for you. Like, you're a good fucking person. And then, like, literally, the same fucking, like, breath, we have people like Notch from Minecraft. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, stop. Just stop. Please. Just stop. You could have been... the most beloved person of this generation. But, like, he will be forgotten. It's almost ridiculous that he will be forgotten. Genuinely, I think after he's given up Minecraft to fucking Microsoft, his only legacy is the fucking Skyrim pickaxe, isn't it? Not just pickaxe at the top of the throat of the world. Because, like, most people just associate Minecraft with fucking Microsoft now. Like, I'm sure, yeah, if you Wikipedia, he pops up, but, like... Not even selling it. I bet he just regrets being the fucking asshole that he is. Because from what I've learned in a little quick research about him, it's just a fucking douchebag. Like, all he had to do was be at least a creative douchebag. But all he wanted to do was fucking throw parties and, like, be the cool guy. But, like, you gotta be the cool guy. And it didn't seem like he had it. So it was like, fucking go back and make some games. But didn't sound like he had it. And, like, that's just fucking wild to me. Like, how, I just don't get it. I mean, like, absolutely. I mean, you're totally right. But, like, I hope that motherfucker is back to hitting the drawing board. Like, unless he spent all of his money, he should be able to fucking get back on top. But, like, I don't think he has it anymore. When you fall that hard, it's pretty hard to get back to the top. Yeah, something crazy. But, like, partying in California will cost you $2.4 billion. Depending on the level of party scene you get into, yeah. I mean, fuck around and find out. Fucking, those houses are 300 million. You'll just spend your fucking money paying for the place to party. What do we talk? Oh, wait, new type. Wait, I saw a new type idea that sounded interesting. Okay, hit me with it. Man, I am suffering today. I cannot... My brain's not in it today. That's fucking weird. I saw weird type and I was just like, what are you talking about? Wingdings? Like, Comic Sans? Hit me with it. I can't see it. But no, you're playing Pokemon. My brain's just fucking fried. I need to play something else. I genuinely, I have pushed past the safe bounds. I cannot keep fishing. I'm going to keep fishing for today, but like after today, I think it's over. Unless I get like a good week's break from fishing entirely, I just need to be done. I need to take an entire week's break. That's simply put. After today, I don't know what I'm gonna play. I can't play fucking Rogue Galaxy for 7 days straight. That'd be dumb. I don't know. We'll figure something out. I could always just pick something up and play through it a little bit. I don't have to finish a game. I can just dig around. I can have some fun. I actually could pick up a playthrough I have already started. And we could do some grinding in a game that I already have started. Just to get my mind, you know, some time to relax. Do something easy. But, like, at the same time, like, you know, just check some checks off my checklist. I wonder if I could get a... Oh! I wonder if I could get a tripod and set up my camera. And actually, like, record my DS. Would anybody actually be interested in seeing my Pokemon playthroughs? It'd be probably shitty quality because I'd be recording it on a camera, top down. But like, I guess I'd be willing to show them off. I just don't think I'm ever going to be able to find a modded 3DS or mod one myself. But I guess I could try to look into getting a camera to record top down. It's low quality. Even I don't like that kind of shit. But at the same time, people like AbsolBlogs Pokemon does it, and I mean, it's phenomenal. It's great content when they do it, but like, they also hunt on multiple Game Boys, so it's just like, I don't know. I feel like if you hunt on one Game Boy, you should focus on quality, but if you don't, quantity is just fine. I could look into it. Well, we came up on an hour and 18 minutes, so we've caught some big fish, but we haven't caught the 150 I was hoping we would. We need bigger. Ooh. Nope, there it goes. Moved off mark. That fucking perfect fish gone. Pissed down the fucking drain. Just like that. Oh shit, I missed your message. Bizarre type would be Pokemon with weird designs like Ultra Beast. They would have no weaknesses or resistances. Motherfucker's on a Spiritomb trip. Actually, that's not even a thing anymore. Spiritomb has weaknesses. Is Electros the only Pokemon with no weaknesses? Electric type with Levitate? Oh shit, what the fuck? He's tiny as shit. Oh wait, no. Isn't that literally like the newest Pokemon? Didn't you just describe the newest Pokemon? I actually just saw something on this. There's like some new turtle or something like that, that when it like Terramaxes, turns into a new type that has no weaknesses. Isn't that like the new like legendary? I just saw that. It looked so fucking weird. Because I, like, clicked... Oh! Oh! We got something? I can scroll. It's a scroller. Any guesses? I'm gonna go 127, 436. Locking it in. No. Damn, I already said it. We play by Price is Right's rules. High, closest without going over. Oh! How did I not just lose the fish right there? My hands are fucking... Oh! Yes! 157, 526. So we just got screwed. That could have been the record. That could have been a 190. Because my 187 was 522. We absolutely just got fucked. Wow, 5 p.m. Finny Frenzy. Holy shit. Oh, no. Oh, I should... Okay, damn it. Whatever. I was about to go save, but, like, by the time I make it, it's not even gonna be time. I'm gonna miss out. That sucks. Oh, so sad. And I didn't catch anything. All right, so I think I've confirmed it. Just fucking reset your game. Just keep resetting your game until you see big fish. I mean, there's no other explanation I can think of besides, like, sometimes you just get luckier. But, like, I don't know. Today I've caught so many fucking big-ass fish. So many big-ass fish today. So... I guess you could say you need to be, just starting, like, a fishing contest right at 5 o'clock. No, I'm catching more big fish. It's just fucking... It's the resets. You just reset until you see big fish. It's insane. Like, I've been catching so many big fish today. It literally is just luck. You keep resetting, and eventually you'll see big fish. I'm calling it. It's what it's what I've seen. And I've done 12-hour sessions without, like, resetting till I saw a big fish, and nothing good came of it. I don't remember what episodes it was exactly, but I mean, like, I've gone days where I don't even see fish that heavy. The interesting thing about save states, though, is sometimes they take the fun out of games for me. I become obsessed with perfection. Although, in this situation, it may be all I need to find perfection. I mean, because, like, I literally could have, yeah, if every day I just made a save state or something like that, I could have reloaded my save state right there and gone back and found out if there was a moment where it was just like, okay, like, this is where I need to cast. Oh, God, I keep hooking a big one. Okay. Let's figure out what movements I'm doing. But, again, it takes the magic away. Like, at this point, I'm almost thrilled for somebody to break it apart and find out exactly how the things work, because I don't think I'm going to get closer. Like, I think this is going to be my big breakthrough on all this. And then I think if we can get enough people, because this is what I believe in now. If we can get enough people testing this way, I think somebody will catch a perfect, like, length or weight fish in due time. But I think we would need enough people catching fish in a manner like I do, where, again, you catch like 10 of them and then reset your game. You catch like 10 of them and you reset your game. You catch like 10 of them and you reset your game. You catch like 10 of them and you reset your game. And I'm just pretty sure that eventually you will see a massive fucking fish within those first 10. And, like, that's your sign. You're either going to catch a bunch of them later, or I'm completely misreading it, and that is where the big fish will be. Because, like... So my new 3D printer has a camera, and the camera is not that great, so I'm printing what looks like a wall. That sucks. I'm sure, like, any amount of movement shows up a lot, too. Because, yeah, that would explain why nobody sees certain size fish. Because, like, you just have to keep resetting your game until you get one that's like, hey, you got 181, 186, and 189. No 170s, no 190s, no 200. But you got the 60s, and it's like, oh, well, this one's not bad, but those fish are fucking rare. See, like, I would literally be happy with that. I would be convinced that 200 is maximum, and that's the greatest fish I'm ever gonna get. That's fine. At this point, anything bigger than 187 would cause me to squeal like a girl. Like, there's an episode of King of the Hill where Hank goes, just promise me you won't squeal. I can make no promises, Dad. And then he tells Bobby something, and he goes, I'd probably do that. That would be a lot of fun, but I would literally stop fishing right then and there. I'd be so excited to pass the torch on to whoever wants it, but, like, I'd be done. I wouldn't be convinced that 201 is a thing yet. I'd just be 200.9, 200.9, you know, just casually. But, like, if it was a 202, yeah, I'd be fucking like, yep, good luck, y'all. Take care. Here's my save file in case you need it. Honestly, if I caught a 202, it would bring me all the way back around to the increasing fish theory that you have to just keep catching bigger and bigger fish. And the game's like, okay, he's caught enough 150s, reward him with a 190. Okay, he's caught enough 170s, reward him with a 205. Okay, he's caught enough 180s, reward him with a 210. Okay, enough 190s, 220. But I don't think that's how it works, because again, I jumped 20 centimeters myself. I beat the record by 13, but I jumped 23 centimeters for my record catch, which is just fucking massive. But again, I was only like 2 or 3 weeks into doing stuff. I genuinely just thought like, oh shit, like there's a lot of room to be made here. Like, did he even know what he was doing? But like now I'm starting to realize what the fuck happened. Like, that's unreal. Because I used to catch 140s and 160s were my best. I'd never even seen a 150. And then just one day I caught a 187. And it was like, And then the next day, or it was the next day or 2 days later on New Year's, and it was New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I caught my first 170 and 150, and they were both 584 FP. And it's like, what is going on? Like, okay, I'm about to blow this shit wide open. Like, I'm fucking here, baby. And, I'm still out here. I don't know what's going on. I genuinely, like, I except for today. I think today, I have enough proof. I believe in myself. I believe in what I've seen and what I have found and what I've recorded. And there should be enough evidence that when I go back at some point, I can make a little write-up about how every time I reset and like caught a big fish in the first 10 to 20 or so, I saw big motherfuckers all day. And if I didn't do that, I didn't have good results. And again, I don't have like code proof, but I might have like numerical, theoretical ground to stand on. But like, I have gone hours without seeing big Kaji. And then just fucking, I mean, today, I'm just seeing them left and right. I'm seeing bigger Kaji than some people will ever see in their entire playthroughs. Some people will never see fish this big. And I'm just catching them left and right. These are monsters. Anything over 150, 500 is a monster Kaji. It's insane. And the fact that they're not going all the way up to the bar is so eerie to me. You know what? I'm doing it. Enacting fucking record rule. If we catch a record, we're adding on 2 hours. I'm like too fucking tired to actually do it, but like today's the day. I'm taking a week break. This is the last one. We're 3 hours away from 12 hours. We caught a 150. I said if I catch 2 in 4 hours, we're definitely on some sort of special seed. And I'm like certain we are. We caught 1 of the 150s. We caught 2 140s. Like, if it doesn't happen tonight, it's not happening. Tonight should have been the night if it doesn't happen. But again, that just, I think, proves my theory that those big fucking fish that I'm rolling are all the same fish. You just have to get lucky. Which again means you need to keep resetting until you see that size of fish so that you get enough of them to re-roll. So like, fuck man, tonight if I don't catch the record, tonight just might be the night that I have the information for everybody else to catch the record. Which would be enough. It would be fucking pretty much all I wanted, was to be able to tell everybody something with confidence. And I think tonight might be it. Because if I catch another 150 before I hit 12 hours, I'm certain it's the reset theory. And if I catch a 188 or larger, I'm certain it's the fucking bar theory of you need to see the bar go up a certain amount when you're messing with the fish, and that will tell you, like, yeah, you've got one or not. Because, like, this should be slightly smaller. This should be one of those ones that's, like, 100 to 130, 280 to 350. These are one of those fish that are, like, telling us that 270 is possible. Like, the sizes are set. How much that bar rises when you hook the fish, it's determined. Not every time, it's not predetermined, I believe, but like that bar is determined. It will rise a certain amount. It tells you what fish you potentially have. Yeah. Smack dab in that range of points. I'm happy. I think I finally could make a little write-up. It might not be out till this weekend, but that gives me more time to actually work on it. Yeah, I might just make a big-ass post on everything I think I know and try to help everybody else. So I think the more people we have doing that method, I think the better. And people can take it or leave it. Because, like, there's nothing else. I mean, like, maybe time of day works, but, like, it's not worth it. You can catch big fish at other times of day. You're missing out. You should be catching fish. You shouldn't just wait for a 1 hour fucking window. Like, I'm in that 1 hour window right now, and this is an okay fish. And, like, I don't know. It's not worth it. But, yeah, 99, 322. That pretty much tells us what, 200. Double up the other side, and you got fucking 660. So, like, there's some big fish missing from the tables. Like, I'm pretty sure that 200, 600's the biggest we're gonna see, but, like, the numbers don't lie. It should be, like, 200, 750, 200, 700. Could even fucking be 250. I don't know. Fish got to 350 in the first game. Like, we just don't know. It's crazy. It's legit fucking crazy. Because nowadays games, this shit would be known within, like, the first week of the game's release. People would have data mined it. But, nope. Not here. Not here. I still think, and this is totally well, it's not off subject, we were talking about it earlier. I'm circling back around. I still think my young little kid brain had peak creativity when I came up with Haunter evolving with the upgrade or Dubious Disc into a ghost to normal type. I thought that was like the most clever shit ever back then. I mean, it was no ghost dark type, but it was like, fuck yeah. Like, loses its fighting weakness. Gets some cool-ass normal stuff, I bet. I didn't have, like, moves or anything, or stats or anything, I think. It had to be sometime before Gen 3 came out, I think. But around the Matrix. So I bet if I looked at, like, when those two things came out, I could probably figure out exactly when I came up with that design. Because I also remember coming up with a rock grass type chameleon and then seeing Kecleon and being like, oh my god, like, I'm the greatest ever. Holy shit. Holy shit. And then I was like, wait, their design's way better. Although, I would later, again, find out that I'm a fucking genius because, and I can remember details of like the Pokemon game I came up with, but it was like, it was generic ass like 2000s Pokemon Kid edgy. My game took place in like some dragon only like, oh, we're dragon master children and we're on our journey to become dragon trainers. And I had a pretty cool gimmick. So, like, it was obviously back then. So, it was Dratini, Larvitar, and was this after Gen 3? This might have been after Gen 3, because I'm trying to think of who the third one was. And I think it was just Bagon. But, like, the gimmick I remember was if your opponent didn't have Tyranitar, their Pokemon was, like, way better, but if they did have Tyranitar was specifically designed to just like fuck up your dragon type starter. Because it was always going to be like, whoever had the Tyranitar was going to be the one that got bullied for not having a true dragon. But then if your rival had the Tyranitar, they were going to be like, well, it's the weakness of a Pokemon that makes it stronger. And then it was just gonna, like, fuck up your dragon type. Like, Dragon Dance all over it. But, anyways, I digress. The coolest thing I had come up with was I was like, oh, there's gonna be a gym that you have to surf to that's, like, way back. You have to find it. But to get there, you have to get rid of a thick fog. And, like, I don't know what I came up with, but it was not as simple as fucking deep fog. Yeah, but like in the dumbest way imaginable. Like fairy types should not just be outright immune to dragon types. I mean, they should be resistant, like yes. But like a Clefairy should not be able to just take a Draco Meteor from the strongest dragon of all time. Like it's just fucking stupid. They literally just needed a way to balance out dragon types, and they were like, meh, we'll do this. Oh my god. That was like one of the wildest things about X and Y. Was like all of the new fairy type Pokemon that just emerged were fucking shit up. It was insane. You had to be such a bad fairy type Pokemon to not see play. And then as you fell through the tiers on Smogon, you got more play because if any dragon types were in those tiers, game over. It was game over for them. They literally couldn't do anything to most of them. So few dragon types actually learned good like iron moves. You got like Iron Tail sometimes, and it's just like, well, if I hit the 25% miss, they Moonblast me and I die. Do I feel like rolling a 25% that's actually more like a 60% for some fucking reason? Honestly, like, all of the strategy for Pokemon comes from knowing the stats for other Pokemon and the move sets for other Pokemon. Actual team building is borderline so easy. It's like, do you have a physical Pokemon and a special Pokemon to take attacks? And then do you have a physical Pokemon to do attacks and a special Pokemon to do attacks as well? And it's like, yes. And it's like, okay, pick your 2 favorites and there's your team. You can fucking compete. But like, the rest of the strategy just comes from being able to look at somebody's team and be like, okay, to do attacks, yeah. Attacks. But basically is being able to look at somebody's team and be like, okay, I'm going to do a Fire Blast. They're definitely not going to keep Venusaur in, so they're going to switch into somebody who can take the Fire Blast. Do they have anybody? Okay, so they have somebody with Flash Fire. Do I want to go for my Hidden Power Ground? Okay, they can predict Hidden Power Ground, stay in with Venusaur, and Earthquake me, killing my Fire type. What are they gonna do here? That's where actual Pokemon battling, like, at the high tier comes from. Making a team is super fucking easy. Like, your teams were probably fine. It's actually being able to look at the other person's team and know what they're going to do and take advantage of that. And that's where, like, the fucking 4D chess comes into, like, really shine. That's when I fell in love with Pokemon. But, like, after Gen 6, there was too many. There was too many Pokemon. There was too many moves. There was too many fucking builds. I didn't want to memorize them all. I wasn't good enough at the game for me to put that kind of time in. I want to say the highest I ever made it on, like, Smogon was, like, 13 to 14. Maybe 1,500 on, like, a not-so-popular bracket. Well, no, it would have been a popular bracket. I can't even remember. Maybe if I could go back and fucking find my accounts, I could find out. Power creep on legendaries is ridiculous. I've been watching the Wolfie VGC video on Urshifu, and, like, I didn't even know how broken Urshifu was, but just watching the video, like, makes me not want to play modern Pokemon battling. Like, I literally can't believe they made a Pokemon that insanely broken. I can't believe there's a good legendary Pokemon that learns Close Combat, U-Turn, and Aqua Jet. Like, that is unfathomable to me. And then it has an unbelievably good ability. And it's like, okay, you're talking about, like, Mew or somebody? Like, who are you talking about? And it's like, no, this thing fucking, it's got, no. It hits like a truck. And you're like, oh. It's an exclusive. You can't get it. You can't use it right now, right? It's like a weird Arceus sort of deal, right? No. It's in the game. You can buy it. Oh. It's just crazy. And then who was that one that, like, fucking ruined competitive for a moment because people were so sick of Palafin, the little dolphin Pokemon. Like, I don't even remember if it was that good, but, like, for the first few weeks of it was, like, release, everybody was using it. And I remember people just bitching about it. Because it would just literally flip turn on turn 1. And everybody was just like, all right, here we go. And it's like, okay, it is kind of annoying if every battle starts the same way. They used to make such bad legendaries. It's like almost comical. Like, Zapdos is great, but like, imagine them making a Moltres, Articuno, Zapdos line again. People would bitch like, what is this? We paid for this? This is fucking terrible. These legendaries are terrible. But like, they literally made them better. They made the Galar forms because they were like, ah. Do you think people will buy it if we release the old shitty legendaries? It's like, no, let's make them new and better. Like, fucking Moltres is terrible. I actually don't know if the new ones are any better, but like, it's just funny to me. I wonder if we'll ever get like a shoot-off series where like they remake Red and Blue and just like change all of the stats of the original Pokemon. And it's just like, nope, we're not combining this with any other generations. All of these Pokemon are totally new stats. And like suddenly fucking like Rattata and Raticate have fucking 400 base stat totals. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, like they're good. Yeah. Damn, that's another good fish. We are just, we're on a fucking roll. It's confirmed to me. I don't even have to catch a big fish for the rest of the night. It is confirmed to me. Do you like Gen 1? What do you mean by that? Like, the games? Because we've had this conversation. I can't play them anymore because the back sprites are just fucking ugly. But yes, I do like them. But the back sprites are just too ugly. I don't like Fire Red and Leaf Green for some reason. Maybe if I replayed them, I'd like them. But, like, when I was a kid, I hated them. And I don't know why. But, like, I just literally did not like those games. But I have not played any of the newer remakes. Like, Let's Go, I haven't played that. But I would like to replay Fire Red or Leaf Green, but those games are fucking expensive. And I just don't enjoy playing Pokemon games on emulator as much as I used to. I used to play a lot of emulator in college because I just didn't have, like, I didn't have the time. Most of the time I was sitting at school already on my laptop, so like I had time to like open up a little program and play a game or two, but I didn't have time to fucking make sure my DS was charged and I had my fucking game on me and it wasn't raining and like, you helped shape my fucking childhood there, Nintendo, but my god, you don't make it easy to play your fucking games in the modern age without spinning an arm and a leg or being afraid of the rain. Fuckers. But I bet if I replayed Fire Red, I'd actually really like it. I just, for some reason, I remember literally hating the game. Like, not even playing it, just playing through a bit of it, getting to the islands and just being like, ugh, I'll catch Moltres. And it's like, you can't catch Moltres. And it's like, ah, I'll move on then. And it's like, you can't move on, you have to finish something. And it's like, ah, I'm done. I'm done. Done playing. I remember when like the new edition of Game Boy came out, I like kept asking my mom to get me one, like give me one, give me one, give me one. And it was just like, no, we're not, like, we're not made of money. Like, absolutely not. We're not made of money. And it was just like, but it's got a built-in battery. And like, I just remember this look on her eye when we didn't have to use the stupid fucking rechargeable batteries anymore. And she was just like, oh, where? Target? Walmart? Where can we get one? Because like, we had so many of those stupid fucking rechargeable batteries that it was just like, she was ready. She would rather have fucking, because I was an idiot kid. I'd get like red battery, save my game, pop out 2 batteries, plug in 2 new batteries, and then walk around the house, never plugging in the other 2 batteries. And then I'd be sitting there fucking pouting when she got home, angry because I didn't have backup batteries that afternoon. And I'm sitting there watching one set charge with another dead set. Oh, that's nice. But this was like fucking 15 years ago. So if you were lucky if you had like the fucking 4-set charger. And then on top of that, I would leave these expensive-ass rechargeable batteries just sitting around the house, and sometimes they disappear. For God's sakes, my dumbass was probably changing out batteries out in the yard, laying in the grass, fucking running inside to grab new batteries, totally forgetting the other green rechargeable batteries are in the yard. Oh, nice. That's not so bad. I've been checking out a lot of the refurbished / modded GBAs. They look cool. I saw one person that was making hingeless Game Boy SPs. And it was like, why would you make it hingeless? But at the same time, it was just like, it's like a fucking... a larger screen Game Boy Micro now. That's pretty cool, actually. Not bad. I actually respect it. But like, man, Nintendo just doesn't care. If Nintendo cared, they'd keep releasing products because people would keep buying them. Literally, people would keep buying them. But they have absolutely no reason not to. And I don't get it. They could fucking print a Pokemon, like, Game Boy. Like, literally just one game on a Game Boy, and people would buy it, I bet. Like, hey, it's the Charizard Game Boy with Pokemon Red! And it's like... it is not actually a fucking $40 Game Boy with just Pokemon Red on it. Like, come on, that's a $10 thing at best. And, like, all of a sudden there's a guy on Reddit posting that he bought 200 of them. And it's like, you ass! What the fuck is wrong with you? And it's like, this is a collector's item! And it's like, no, they said they're gonna be producing them forever. It is not a collector's item. Like, they said $40 is the price it will be forever. They're putting them in production. They're gonna make one for every game. And it's like, oh, it's a collector's item! I need 200 of them! But, like, they just don't want to. That's probably just to get them around some sort of cease and desist. That's probably it. Keeps them functioning on the internet. No, again, I've never even Googled it or like YouTubed it. It's just sometimes I get like these random streaks on YouTube. And it's probably around Christmas time. If I had to double check. I can't double check, it'd be weird. It'd be weird to be able to look through that much of your history online. I mean, you can, but I'm not going to. But like every so often these people are like, let's take apart this old Game Boy and put it in a new shell. And it's like, oh god, they make like the coolest looking Game Boys sometimes. But it's like, I don't even bother looking because I don't want to find out they're like fucking $400. But like every so often I'll find one where the people are just like, oh, and let's see if we can plug in the HDMI. And it's like, it'd be so cool to just use the Game Boy as literally like a fucking gamepad and play on your TV. But Nintendo doesn't want you to do that. Nintendo, play our way. Quit playing games the wrong way. Fucking weirdos. Literally, they could be trillionaires. It's so fucking weird to me. But like, even that's a relic now. Like, that's fucking, like, there's no way you can actively do that nowadays. Like, that is some shit you make a YouTube video about because it's so fucking annoying to piece together. I'm literally talking about, like, they could make a fucking brick Game Boy that has no, like, cartridge on the back. Like, it's literally like a fucking fake Lego bullshit. Like, it's part of the fucking... It's just a brick. But inside of it is a virtual console to play, like, red, blue, yellow. But, like, individually. And they could sell them for fucking, like, $60, $70. And people would fucking buy them. People would buy every single one of them. And all you would have to do is put an HDMI port and a fucking trading cable in it. Or make it Wi-Fi-able. And, like, trillionaires. Oh, yeah, no, but they're never going to put those games on the Switch. They'll never do it. I'm just thinking of ways they could actually release the original games and not ruin, potentially, the sales of other games that they have on, like, consoles. Because, again, I think no matter what, if you release a Pokemon product, it's gonna do well. And I think that's literally what their biggest fear is putting too much time into Pokemon, because it will literally, anytime they release a Pokemon game, it will literally ruin the sales of another game. So, like, they probably have some mathematical formula for how often they can release a Pokemon game and not fuck with their other games. Because, again, they all hate being the Pokemon company for some fucking reason. We are at the 2-hour mark. I should definitely eat something. Let's catch one more fish, though. I should get a bottle of water down, but we're going to strap back in. It might be a 30-minute break, but there's a chance we just go for 3 hours straight. There's a chance we catch a record and we go all night. I don't need to sleep, baby. I'm going all night. The fuck do you mean? You're going to be the first one to sleep. Ah, you're probably right. No, I'm kidding. That's a quote. That's a quote from Neebs Gaming. What is that from? Is that from fucking 7 Days to Die or Ark? I can't remember. Anyways, we'll catch one more fish. I'll actually take the break. I'm not sure what I'm going to eat, so it might take me a second to find something to scrounge together. And then we'll get back to it. Do I need to... I probably need to clean my liquor bottle. It's probably nasty. I think it's over there in the dark. I can't even see it. I wonder what the next, like, big game's gonna be. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and maybe this is me putting out a curse to myself and fucking it all up, but I genuinely hope GTA 6 just sucks. It's probably not going to, but, like, I'm so tired of the fucking GTA fandom. Like, there's some amazing games, and they're, like, technically impressive, but, like, my god, it is the fucking FIFA of, like, technically impressive. They don't fucking change that formula. My fucking god. I literally can't enjoy those games because they feel so directionless to me. Like, I admit, like, to some people, that's a fucking grade A story, but, like, it's just fucking boring as shit to me. I can't even, like, think about it. I'll admit it's got some humorous moments, but, like, again, exploring the world, doing the fucking sandboxing stuff, it's just not even that. It's just, like, I want to call it the FIFA of the AAA, because I feel like that's what it is, because, like, I mean, FIFA is a AAA, but, like, it really is, like, what AAA games should be. It really is. It's a great fucking game. And, like, they prove that they can make beautiful stories like Red Dead Redemption. But they also just fucking make Grand Theft Auto. And, like, the fans love that shit for, again, love whatever you want, but literally just the goofy ass shit of running over pedestrians and stealing cars. And it's like, I literally can't just fucking get behind that gameplay loop. And it's just me. You can like whatever you want. That's my opinion. Like whatever you want. But like, it bums me out that a company like that could probably make one of the greatest RPGs we've seen in a long time. But they never will because they don't care. And like, that's how that works. Don't make a game you don't want to. But like, it just sucks to see that kind of fucking potential exist already. And it makes a fucking hooker shooter simulator. Like, what? And like, again, I'll see the fans and they're just like, yo, check out the water graphics on the jet ski. And it's just like, I'm so happy for you, but like, it's fucking being wasted. It's being wasted on you fucking, what? Why do you people make these games? But again, make the games you're proud of. I believe in that, but fuck, man. Imagine a fireball hitting GTA physics water. Like, kicking up a mist cloud and circling around, killing their horses, and then all of a sudden you fucking lightning bolt once the water hits the ground again because it's actual water physics. But like, no, instead we get fucking Skyrim. No, I'm kidding. Skyrim's not that bad, but I'll be back. Thank you for listening to me ramble. They call me the Rambler. Good day. What a fucking good day. 157, 526, 151, 518, 133, 127. Fucking insane. Insane. All right. Take care, YouTube.